Hi everybody, this little demo shows you how you use Make to deploy remote servers, test local servers and send test messages to remote server and check that the replication is working. Long story short, at the very root of these repositories, we have a make file. The make file knows which are the remote servers that it can control and offers a few commands, for instance, to set up a remote, to run a local server, to send a message on a server on a given channel, and then to check the status. So the first thing we need to do now is to set up a remote server that we call US. So it is at this address. We do make DRED setup remote, and we call it US. And this will basically start a procedure that it's basically setting up a preprod server. If you want to check the code, is inside the preprod directory of the project, but it's using PM2 to handle the DRED server on the remote, the DRED service on the remote server. Set up the auto restart, everything is needed, and then it checks that everything runs as we expect. At the very end, you see if that succeeded and the server is responding. At this point, we go back to our make, which offers an option to check the status of this system. So we do make check status. And here we see that for the check status, we have a local host server that is not running, while the US server is now online and has these channels, say news, discussion, etc. The German server is not SSH connected, and there is another server UK that is online and also has the same channels. At this point, that we did set up the remote server with the code base that we have in this branch. Now we can run a local DRED with the same code base. So we do make DRED run local. Now here we want to set a specific logging level. So let's say logging, we say a default info, and then the replication and the replicator, the replicant and the replicator, we put them at trace because we want to see all the replication information during the execution. So make DRED run local with the environment variable logging that's telling us how to perform the logs. This is going to start, this is going to build first and then start the local DRED. It will be set up in a minute or two. Okay, and now it says, you know, I'm connected to 2 out of the 8 servers that are read from the blockchain contract. Of these 8, some can't be replicated, and of these 8, 2 are connected for replication. We see a status message every 5 seconds, and you know, locally we have 4 channels. At this point, the local server is running. We know that there are 2 local servers remote that we are connected to. At this point, we do make to send a message to, for instance, the US server and the news channel. Before doing that, check that every minute the local server is retrying to connect to the hosts that are registered in the blockchain, but for some reason they are not connecting, so it keeps retrying every minute or so. Yeah, that's not an issue. It can happen that some server is down. and we just check sporadically. Now we go and send a message to the remote US server and see what is the effect on the local one. So we run make DRED send message. We send a message to the US server. We send a message on the news channel, and the message is this is my beautiful message to US news. And then when I send this, I expect the replication is that this local server does against the news server shows up here. So let's send the message. Of course, the replication it works. So we detected a message in the channel news from the remote server, and then we have all the details, including the OCID, and that's basically it. The replication works. Since it's in trace, you see too much output, of course. But basically means that this local server is able to detect messages on the remote server and republish the same messages on the same news channel for other clients that are connected to this local one. And this is how we implemented the replication. Okay, I think with this it will be much simpler to understand how DRED replication works. Thanks for the attention, and bye.